New water pump gaskets have arrived, and this is what I was talking about. Oh, camera. These ones are metal with the rubber inserts formed into them, and these rubbery plastic things are not. Therefore, I conclude these are inferior when compared to a design such as this. Therefore, this is the type we'll be using and not this junk. Hi everybody, good day to you and welcome back. If this is your first time here, just welcome. What we have today is a 2002 Chevrolet people moving express van, and this is going to be here for a couple days. I've got a lot of stuff this fella wants me to do to this car. I have an entire list, and he happened to bribe me with candy, so he's definitely going to get a good job out of this one. This particular van was brought to me by a viewer from all the way down in Miami, so the pressure is definitely on for me on this one because we got a viewer vehicle and they drove for like an eternity to get here, so I have to make sure I do a super good job, better than anybody else has ever done ever in the history of repairing this particular van. Uh-oh, I'm already off to a bad start. All the instruments are in metric. We have a centigrade thermometer, a kilopascal reading for oil pressure, and the odometer is in kilometers. 396,000 kilometers to be precise. That's a lot of meters. I can definitely tell that this van is extremely well loved. It is super clean inside of here, very well taken care of. That's fairly impressive to me for its age. Good for you, sir. I'm glad to see you take care of your stuff. And because I know that you take care of your stuff, that makes me want to take care of your stuff even more. There's a saying that we can only care about a customer's cars as much as they care about their car. That's kind of true sometimes, but that usually focuses on the negative. For example, if somebody drives around in a rolling pile, then it's going to get treated like a pile rather than, you know, somebody's resource. Unfortunately, that's how a lot of folks will look at things like that. I try to not do that. I try to be objective, even if it is a crap box. That being said, when you get a hold of an old jewel like this one, and it's not a crap box, it's inspiring because you want to keep those things together and keep them in good shape for as long as possible. Anyway, that's enough rambling for me. I'm going to take this out and do a quick test drive. I want to get a feel for how this van behaves and see if there's anything standing out to me. Noises, vibrations, a pull to the left, a pull to the right, brake vibrations, things of that nature. Then I can get a good holistic view of the overall mechanical condition of this piece of equipment. At that point, I have more knowledge and information and ammunition to make better recommendations. Okie doke, so I'm chilling at this red light and I hear some kind of metallic vibration from under the hood. I'm gonna hone in on that fairly quickly. I don't like that sound. I think it's a belt tensioner. It seems to amplify when the AC is turned on. Now that the AC is turned on, I hear another noise down there in the blower motor. I think there's leaves inside of it. It just went away, but I did hear something. All right, pulling in, and this is going to be the new home of this van for the next few days. So I think it's safe to say we're going to do a multi-part video series on this particular vehicle because our guy wants lots and lots of stuff fixed up. So that's what I'm going to do here today. Okay, now one of the first things on the list that I have is a coolant smell. And I detect a low coolant condition. This leads me to believe that there may be a leak somewhere. So first things first is I'm gonna find that coolant leak, if there in fact is one, as I move on through the inspection process. What do I spy with my little eye? Okay, this doesn't make for good videos, but we're going to need to think about putting some tires on this. That's going on the list. Okay, inspection continuing. Moving on up. Okay, that's all the up that I get. I'm all out of ups. And we're gonna set this behemoth down on the locks for my protection. There's absolutely no reason to trust your life on a 65-cent O-ring Actually, due to the current inflationary status, that O-ring is probably $17.50 now. But either way, I wouldn't trust my life to an O-ring. Okay, so at this point, I do have to issue a disclaimer. There's a lot of stuff to go over on this fan, and I'm probably going to be doing a large amount of work to this fan. Therefore, I'm fairly certain that this is going to be a multiple series of videos. Our guy wanted to do a differential service, which would be nice because we've got a pinion seal leaking oil here. It's not a huge leak, but it's there. So I'm going to recommend we replace that pinion seal. We've got a tail shaft seal that's leaking right here. Not too much, but a little bit, but that would be worth replacing as well. Looking pretty good overall. There's a slight oil pan leak going on here. This coolant right here, that is coming from one of the ports on the water pump. So this thing is going to need a water pump. There was a note complaining about an AC noise. I do think it has a leaking service valve, and I'll look into that a little bit deeper later on. I think I may recover the refrigerant out of this thing just to see what the charge level is. Again, there was a complaint of an underperforming AC system, so I'm going to address that as well. Alrighty, we're on day 2 of this fan. I got some approvals after making some recommendations. I've gone ahead and installed the AC recovery machine. I'm going to recover all the refrigerant out of this AC system. They had complained of poor performance, maybe a noise, something like that. So I visually found a leak on this service port. As per my usual protocol, I'm going to change both service ports. I'm going to recover this system, see how much refrigerant's in there, and we'll circle back to this thing later on. Right now, I'm going to solve the biggest immediate problem, and that is that leaking water pump down there. So we're going to pull all this stuff out of here. We're going to get the fan shroud out. We're going to get the fan clutch off of the water pump, and we're going to pull that water pump out. After that, and I don't think there's going to be enough time in this video, so I'm probably going to make another one. We're going to go around back underneath, pull the drive shaft out, because I've got to change the seal on the transmission output shaft, and the pinion seal on the rear differential is leaking. So we're going to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone after this water pump problem gets solved. I think there's some more stuff going on with this also. I may or may not record that, but we will cross those bridges when we get there. So let's start taking some stuff apart and get down to the nitty-gritty. Bottle coming with me. Now these dipstick tubes and filler tubes really get in the way on these G-Vans, so I'm just gonna go ahead and remove them right now. A lot of folks will try to work around these, and it causes a huge headache. They end up getting bent and damaged and whatnot. Oh good, my tool fits. Worried about that. I mean, it's not the largest head, but sometimes it gets a little jammed up. Come on, dipstick tube. This one's a 2-piece, so I want to separate it. The O-ring's got a good grip. There we go. Pull. Intake horn can go away. Oh, that's kind of stuck. Let's get it unstuck. There. Now this oil-filled tube is in my way. That's going to unplug from the valve cover. Maybe. Yeah, these are interlaced. Let me finagle them free. There. Fail. Come on. It's free but tangled. Why? All right, here it is. Okay, I've got most of the obstructions out of the way. This dipstick tube is not going to come out. I have to unbolt it from the back of the cylinder head way back there, and I'm not going to do that, so I'm just going to sneak everything past it. I've got this cable running across the radiator shroud. That has to go away. Pop the clips off and move that aside. Most of this stuff, including these AC hoses, will just get tucked in back above the alternator. And that's going to give us all the space we need to get this shroud out of here. Naturally, my hose clamp pliers that I relentlessly sell you guys in the video description through an Amazon link are making another appearance. Ending passive sales pitch now. And I'll use these guys to get this clamp off. Don't make a fool out of me, pliers. I'm trying to make $1. There we go. And we'll just take this upper hose and stick this thing back here, get that out of the way. Now I'm free to pull the bolts out of the top of this shroud here and get the fan shroud out. We've got 3 bolts, 3 on each side. One here, one over there. I'll just throw an extension on the electric ratchet, zip those guys out, and then this whole piece comes out. And real quick, I'll grab those other 3 from the other side. Okay, let's get this shroud out. There's usually just enough space to squeeze it past that dipstick tube. But it's still super tight. What you got there, buddy? Some wipey blades? Those for me? Cool, because I don't want them. Doing something else. There it is. Okay, next up, we have to get this fan out of here. And I'm just gonna give the nut on the back of it a couple tappy taps with the air hammer. There is a tool for this, but this is close quarters combat. And it's getting the air hammer treatment. And that should have been it. One more little duck-a-duck, and it's free. I'm doing this by feel. I've got the bladed end on the edge of the nut. There we go. Now it's free. Whoa! Yep, no destruction. Look at that. Oh, good. Now that this is out of the way, looky here, we can see the coolant drip. See that? There's a drip. Okay, totally confirmed. Okay, let's lose the belt next. Tensioner feels good. Belt looks good, no cracks. Gravity. Okay, so I feel like it's my first day. It did not occur to me to remove this upper radiator hose earlier. I don't know why I didn't remove this when I took off the other side, but the hose needs to be removed because it is attached to the water pump that I'm replacing. Come on, hose clamp pliers, you're embarrassing me. Operator error. This is all my fault. Ooh, you. I'm being defeated by surface adhesion. That's right, I learned a new word, so I'm gonna use it all the time now. This tensioner right here is next on my hit list, because that is also bolted to the water pump. These hoses, or these clamps, are connected to the hose with a little rubber tab, so they're hard to move away from the joint. Again, we are combating surface adhesion. Oh, I should probably get a drain pan set up before I pull that off. Good thing. All right, time to let it ride. Good, the drain pan is catching it all. Nice. Perfect for all your clamp removal needs. Doo-doo-doo. We're getting a lot of phone action today. Okay, these guys are on there. Pry bar. Oh wait, that might be too many steps of escalation. Let's try a longer pick first. Then I'll move on to a pry bar. It's almost there. It's like almost there. It moves around now. It's just like one piece of the rubber that's stuck in the back and I can't get it out. Come on. Yeah. Whoa, we're leaking. We're leaking a lot. Okay, all done. One down, one to go. There it goes. All right. Okay, now that all of the supporting plumbing and accessories and whatnot are removed from this pump, we've just got these 6 bolts here, 3 and 3, and then the whole pump will come free from the engine. I'm gonna break these loose by hand, just in case one of them is kind of stuck. I don't want to fatigue it and snap it off in the block with the power tool. Yeah, they're all feeling pretty good. Okay. Ding, fries are done. Alright, it's free. Yep. Yeah, look at that. Big old pump. Alright, let's make sure to lose these old gaskets. We don't want to double gasket a water pump. And I'll give it a quick scrapey scrape to remove any of this buildup stuff that's right here. Actually, I lied. I'm not going to scrape it. I'm just going to get it with a little roll-lock wheel. Very lightly. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled the water pump out of the box, and they gave me these subpar, at best, what I will call them, gaskets. I can't stand these things, and I don't want to use them because they tend to smash and compress when you tighten the components down. So I have ordered a Felpro set, which has a metal perimeter and then rubber inserts within the metal, and those do not crush. I prefer those, and those are what we're going to use here. This is what I was talking about. Oh, camera. These ones are metal with the rubber inserts formed into them, and these rubbery plastic things are not. Therefore, I conclude these are inferior when compared to a design such as this. Therefore, this is the type we'll be using and not this junk. Okay, now no water pump job is complete without a replacement thermostat. This particular design, the thermostat is encased inside of the housing as well. It's got an integrated rubber seal in there, so I don't need to add one. What it does not include are the bolts, so I need to extract the old bolts from the old water pump, which is a fairly straightforward process. Come here. Okay. Done. So now I'm going to toss a couple of the pump bolts in, flip this guy around. We'll turn this guy onto its side without dropping the bolts out of it, and then place the gravity, it's way down there. I'll get that one later. Just set up, oh, backwards, I have it. Okay. Well, here. Oh, I know. I have a special tool for these situations. It was a present from a viewer. I call it the claw. And with the claw, I will extract my part that I dropped. There we go. Here she comes. It's like that carnival game at the front door to Walmart. Okay, so back on schedule. Let's set these gaskets up. One-handed. And we're gonna bring this guy in and get it into place without knocking the bolts out or dropping the gaskets. Stay. I have to put the camera down. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this pump up into position and start threading in fasteners. Start with the ones at the top because I can see those. Okay. All right, everything's in position now. The gaskets can't fall out. So I'll put these last two bolts in. We'll thread those, and then I can apply torquage, which will mate the ding, fries are done, which will mate the pump to the block. Okay, so I went and looked up the torque spec. It's in Newton meters or inch pounds. The first pass in Newton meters is 15 Newton meters. So I've got my gauge set up to 15. However, this particular wrench does not go up to 30 Newton meters. So I'm gonna have to step up for the second pass and use the 3/8 torque wrench. Ding. Click. 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 Okay, so this is our first pass complete. There we go. Let me switch torque wrenches and we'll finish it up. All right, time for the second pass. This wrench is set up for 30 Newton meters or 22 foot-pounds. There's a click. Ding. I'm not doing that on purpose, I swear. All right, we're good here. Proper torquage has been achieved. All right, let's get these heater hoses and everybody reconnected. Next. Yeah, they go on a lot easier than they came off. Right there. That's good. Let's do the lower hose next. That's the big one. Oh yeah, that's that little silly tab I was telling you about that gets caught on the clamp. I'm gonna cut that off. I don't like that. It's in my way. All right, we're putting a new clamp on this because I don't want to use the old. Not too tight. We don't wrench the crap out of these until they strip. We just tighten them until they're snug. Okie dokes, let's back it up a little bit. We're gonna get the idler pulley, tensioner, and the belt installed. Then all the shrouding and whatnot could go back on. And of course, I will not forget the fan and fan clutch. Click. All right, let's throw this belt on. Have the letters oriented properly, facing forward. If you do that incorrectly, the belt will make noise and it'll fly off and blow the car up. The belt's got to be pointed the right way. It's a specified direction. Okay, around that pulley, around this pulley, around that one. We'll loosen the tensioner and then slip this last piece down under that idler, and the belt installation will be complete. And then this one goes down. Uh-oh. I brought too much ratchet. Oh, I'm screwing this all up. What do I do? There we go. Okay, belt's on. Do a quick visual inspection, make sure all the ribs are lined up, and right there they are not. Look at that, right down there at the bottom. I'll loosen it some and just slide that. There we go. Okay, belt install is complete. Okay, fan. That's next. We will thread that guy in. A lot of people will thread these fans in 2 or 3 threads and then just start the engine and let the rotation of the engine finish the threading process off and ultimately securing the fan to the water pump. I don't like to do that because if it fails to thread for any reason, once you shut it off, that momentum that the fan has will actually cause it to unthread, and then it comes off and flies off and hits the radiator and pokes a hole in it. and that would be bad. So we're not going to do that method. I can't say I haven't done it before, but I've learned to not do that. Okay. And I will give it one more tappy tap with the impact driver just to hammer everything home and lock it down. It really doesn't need much, just enough to snug everything up. I'll try to move everybody in to here for a better view. You guys can see, yeah? I hope so. Okay, I can't see. I'm kind of looking at the camera to see what I'm doing. Alright. I wasn't wrapping on it terribly hard, just enough to coerce the threaded nut portion here to torque down onto the stud or the threads on the water pump itself. Okay, let's get out of here, retrieve all my lights and goodies, and then we'll get the shroud put back in. Let's see how this is gonna go. I think you guys are kind of in the way. Yeah, we're gonna move up here some for the time being. There, let's try that. Drop something. Flashlight again. There's an AC line in the way. I probably could have taken this off considering I had the system discharged. Oh well, maybe next time. All right, that's good. Next up, I will throw in the 6 bolts that bolt the 2 halves of the shroud together, and then I can bring the whole assembly back, bolt it to the cross member, and then it will be secured. Oh, wobbly extensions. And just like last time, 3 more on the other side. So the upper part of the shroud is now hugging onto the radiator where it mounts to it. I've just got to pull this forward, place the bolts. There's just this one and one more up top right here. And then apply some torquage action. Click. Okay, that guy gets clipped in right there. Same thing on this side. Okay, upper hose is next. I have elected to replace the clamps on this hose as well. So I already got one there. I'll tighten that in a moment. And loud noises. I'm trying to talk to you guys. How rude. And that one goes right there. And again, we don't torque these to the hilt, especially when torquing them to plastic devices, because they will break. And that's gonna be harder to reach with my little ratchet. I can do it. Okay, so as I suspected, this vehicle is going to end up requiring more than one video to achieve completion, because I still got all that other stuff to do down below on the bottom side. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out right now since we're in the finalized stages of this particular repair. I think in the next edition, I'll go back and tackle that crankshaft, that rear axle pinion seal and that tail shaft seal that's leaking out of the transmission. So I hope you enjoyed this video enough to come back and watch part 2 and possibly even part 3 of this series. If you like this video today, I'm assuming you will be back for the next one, and I'll make sure to post them in order. As always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And before I go, of course, I will remind you to not forget to go in your home and to have a great day. There we go. See you guys later. Transmission dipstick installed. Engine oil dipstick kind of installed. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Feels like gifts that are given in banks are not as interesting or
Click.
as a wrapped up.
Green. Click. Big washer goes there. Why? Mini clicks. Okay, next up I just got to refill the coolant. I'm really going to go this time, but I didn't want to leave you guys in the dark with where we started, so I'm now charging the refrigerant 2.4 kilograms. It is in metric. System charging. Coolant's going in. I'm going to go this time. See you guys later. Bye.